Some stories don't begin with glory, but with sacrifice. Some heroes don't wear capes, they wear scars. This is the story of Officer Jake Collins, and the dog who refused to let the truth die with him. Jake Collins was the kind of cop you never forgot. 12 years on the force. No scandals. No shortcuts. Just a stubborn heart and a belief that justice was meant for everyone, rich or poor, strong or weak. Every morning, he laced up his boots, patted his old German shepherd, Max, on the head, and whispered, "Let's make the world a little better today, buddy." Max was more than a partner. He was Jake's shadow, his second heartbeat. Together, they cleaned up the worst corners of the city, one broken life at a time. The neighborhood kids loved them. The streets whispered their names with respect. Jake wasn't chasing medals. He was chasing something harder to earn, hope. It happened on a rainy Thursday. Jake was called into an abandoned warehouse, simple drug bust, they said. But inside, nothing was simple. The operation was a setup. No drugs. No suspects. Just Jake, and a bullet that tore through his shoulder. When backup finally arrived, Jake was on the ground, blood pooling under him. But instead of helping him up, they cuffed him. "Officer Collins," his captain said coldly, "you're under arrest for possession and intent to distribute." Jake's mouth dried. His mind screamed. Max barked wildly, lunging against his leash. The only soul in that room who still believed in him. They framed him. His own brothers. And nobody even asked him for his side of the story. In the weeks that followed, Jake's world crumbled. He lost his badge. He lost his home. Even his family turned their backs. Only Max stayed. Through cold nights under bridges, through hunger, through the shame of being called a disgrace. Jake slept with his back against walls now. Max curled against his chest, the only warmth he had left. The city he once protected walked past him, indifferent. The friends he bled for, forgot his name. He was invisible. Except to Max. One night, while they huddled near a deserted park, Max's ears perked up. He darted from Jake's side, nose low, tail stiff. "Max, where you going, boy?" Jake rasped, dragging himself after him. Max led him to an old dumpster. Inside, a crumpled file folder. Jake knelt, hands trembling, flipping it open. Photos. Emails. Proof. Evidence that the captain and two other officers had been running a dirty racket, drugs, guns, payoffs. And they had framed Jake because he refused to look the other way. Max growled low, sensing the importance. It wasn't just paper. It was Jake's soul, given one last chance. Tears blurred Jake's vision. "Good boy, Max. Good boy." Jake cleaned up. He walked into the Internal Affairs building the next morning, wearing torn clothes, blood-stained hands clutching the folder. They tried to throw him out. Until Max, sensing the urgency, broke free and leapt onto the desk, scattering papers. The chief of IA, a stern, silver-haired woman, saw the chaos. And the bruised men behind it. Jake didn't say much. He simply dropped the folder at her feet. An hour later, the investigation reopened. By nightfall, the captain was in cuffs. By week's end, Jake's name was cleared in a quiet press conference, no apologies, no parades. But Jake didn't care about headlines anymore. He cared about one thing. Standing tall. For himself. For Max. And for the truth. Months later, Jake started again. Not as a cop. But as a youth counselor, helping broken kids find their way before the streets did. And Max. Max had a badge of his own now, honorary member of the City K-9 unit. He even had his own little medal. Every day, Jake would smile, watching Max chase the neighborhood kids around the playground, his tail a proud banner in the sun. They weren't looking for medals anymore. They had something rarer. Freedom. Honor. And the unbreakable bond of two souls who refuse to give up. Sometimes, the loudest heroes aren't the ones who shout. Sometimes, they simply endure. And sometimes, when the world forgets them, a loyal heart reminds them of who they truly are. Because in the end, Truth doesn't need an army. It only needs one brave soul, and one loyal friend.